Hey guys, so today I'm actually not here for the readers. I'm here simply for the writers. And if you're a reader that is also a writer, great. But this is just for the writers. So if you aren't a writer, you're welcome to click off of this video. If you're not a writer and you want to see what I'm going to hear what I want to say to the writers, feel free to stick around. I don't mind. So, there's two books that I use a lot when I'm doing my own writing and when I'm stuck, and it's one of the things that I've been noticing a lot on, for instance, Threads, where writers are talking about how they get stuck in a situation, and my first advice is always go back 6 pages and make a different decision. So you go back to what happened 6 pages ago. If the last 6 pages just didn't exist, what happened at the end of that 7th page back, that you could make a different decision, that your main character decides to go in a different direction, or something happens to force them to go into a different direction, or the villain makes a different choice, or a side character makes a different choice. So that's one of the first things I advise them on. But also, a lot of times when I get stuck, I kind of turn to this book here, What Would Your Character Do? And it has different situations. So, flirting. Who doesn't flirt sometimes? Imagine your character in a bar in a flirting mood. Picture a bar that will best help you investigate your character. Now, I'm going to have a problem with this because my main character is 11. But if I were to imagine what kind of a woman she would turn into by the time she's 21 and in a bar, I can kind of work backwards from that and decide, okay, my character is 11 now, but if this was, say, 9 years in the future, you don't realize how short 9 years actually goes, especially for children, when you're watching them grow up. But, so in 9 years, what kind of a person is she going to be? And when you're asking that question, you can kind of work backwards from that of, okay, what happened as an 11-year-old that might have developed her into that woman. So, but if your person is an adult, then by all means, never mind. But picture a bar that will best help you investigate your character. A jumping urban bar late at night, a honky-tonk bar with live bluegrass music, a sedate wood and leather hotel bar, a crowded London wine bar, a dive somewhere off the highway in the middle of nowhere. Where would you like your character to do his or her flirting? Populate the bar with an interesting mix of characters and some attractive guys or girls eager to do some flirting themselves. Get the energy level of the bar clearly in mind. Spring break wild, airport bar busy but anonymous, early half-evening dead. Picture a character entering, choosing a spot to sit, looking around, ordering a drink, and settling in for a little innocent flirting. First of all, what does your character order? A glass of wine, a beer, a fruit-flavored margarita, the latest cocktail, or a whiskey? The second question, and then this scenario has a bunch of different questions to go with it. An attractive someone makes eye contact with your character. What's the first thing your character does? Look away quickly, meet the glance briefly, and then look away. Meet the glance in a lingering way and then look away. Smile and nod, or march right over. Mine would most likely run right over. As far as what she would order, I would think that she would order some kind of, it wouldn't be any of these. It would be fruit flavored. I guess the fruit flavored margarita would be closest. But my main character, even when she becomes an adult, is very exclusively a non-alcoholic drinker. So she would probably go with a fruit flavored mocktail. But But as far as the attractive someone making eye contact, she would probably march right over. And that's my main character. When your character looks over a second time, the attractive stranger is staring right at them. What does your character do? Blush and quickly look away, return the stare, don an enough is enough expression, calmly look away, or join the other person. Again, she would join the other person. How often would your character be the one to initiate the flirting? Never, rarely, a lot of the time, most of the time, all of the time. Probably most of the time. Your character glances up and sees the other person is approaching them and means to join them. What is your character's reaction, presuming that they find the other person attractive? Terror, significant, panic, a mild case of nerves, excitement, or indifference? Probably indifference, because for her it would be a, let's see where this goes, but she wouldn't necessarily care if it didn't go anywhere. Your character has been flirting with someone across the room, glances up and sees the other person has left. How does your character react? With relief, with annoyance, with anger, with irony, with indifference. Again, with indifference. And then they give you a list at the end of each question. Scenario. They give you situations to consider. What would your character do if someone inappropriately came on to your character? What would she or he do if someone accused your character of flirting when they really weren't? Okay, they were just coming out of a long-term relationship and preparing for the dating scene. What would they do if they were given a present of a book with flirting instructions? And what would they do if someone had always considered a friend began flirting with them? What if two people began flirting with them? What would your character do if your character suddenly felt unattractive? And then there's other flirting situations: flirting in a foreign country, at a wedding, in the dark during a power outage, while high, while sober, with someone of a different race, flirting at the office. And these are ways of kind of developing what your character is, getting really deep into who your character is and understanding them. And when you can understand what they're going to do at a family picnic under different situations, or in a fender bender, or in a flirting situation, or being accused of a crime. In those situations, as it keeps diving deeper and changing the situation and changing the scenario, you get to see you get to really think about how your character is going to adjust and adapt to those different situations, where in this case, with the flirting situation, the first one is, okay, they've got the first glance. What would your character do? Mine would most likely walk right on over. Someone else's character might play a little bit harder to get, leading to the second glance, where mine wouldn't get the second glance because she's already on her way over. Or in the situation, the other situation where it basically takes that out of the equation of they didn't make the move, the other person started walking over towards your character. How would your character act if somebody tried to join them that they had been lightly flirting with? And also, there's different situations of, like, how does your character flirt? Like, when they start to actually speak, because, yeah, you got I got their attention and now we are, in one way or another, coming together, but now a conversation has to happen. There has to be some kind of engagement. And so you gotta take it from there. What does your character say? Are they awkward? Are they smooth? Are they silly? Are they funny? Are they funny but they're not meaning to be? We hear a lot of times in these real life situation where people are talking online that they don't really think their past has been very traumatic, but then they tell somebody what they think is a really funny story, and then their friend or their partner is like, wow, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And you're like, you didn't find that funny, and it's like, no, that was pretty abusive, and I was like, oh. So those are things you might consider. The other book that I like to use is Just Right: Creating an Unforgettable Fiction and a Rewarding Writing Life, by James Scott Bell. This one is by What Would Your Character Do is by Eric Maisel, PhD, and Anne Maisel. But this one just kind of talks about the do's and don'ts. It talks about building the opponent's ladders, the obsessions, 10 ways to goose the muse. There's just no way I'm ever going to be able to say that without trying to say moose, because for whatever reason, that's exactly what comes to my mind, is goosing the moose. Don't goose moose. They don't like it. They don't appreciate it. But you can goose the muse, apparently. This one, it breaks down into 2 parts: Unforgettable Fiction and A Rewarding Writing Life. Chapters 1 through 4 are what readers want, develop your ideas and prepare to write memorable characters, and write your story. And then part 2 is A Rewarding Writing Life. Chapters 5 through 8 are Brave the Writing Life, Study the Craft, Write with Efficiency, and Understand Publishing and Marketing. And that's one thing that I think that a lot of us struggle with marketing. Although I will tell you that one of the self-published authors on Threads has a marketing degree, and he will pretty much tell everybody that is willing to listen that having a marketing degree does not help you with marketing your book. He has a marketing degree, and he's struggling just as much as any of us. Other books that I recommend, A Signature for Success. This shows you kind of how to get an idea of what kind of a person you're dealing with when they're based on their handwriting, which is a great way of getting into the kind of psychology of your character. And then also How to Win Friends and Influence People is a great book, because if you kind of take that and apply it to your character, you can have a character that is incredibly manipulative using those tactics, and one that is genuine and kind and considerate to people. But all of these will help you with developing your character. And once you know who your character is, then putting them in different situations, there's no question of what are they going to do. You already have an idea of, well, I know my character well enough that they're absolutely going to throw hands, or they're going to run and hide. So those are the books that I read when I'm trying to figure out where to go next, or how to get to know my characters. I hope those have helped you, and if they don't, I'm sorry. But if they do, you're welcome. So that's all I have for the writers, and the next video will be right back on target with the readers. So readers, don't abandon my channel, please. Keep watching and checking out these amazing self-published authors that I'm promoting, because they really are really good books, and I'm not being facetious when I say I'm enjoying the books. If I don't enjoy the books, I'm not going to make a video. That's just all there is to it. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.